a terrible booktuber. Hey guys, it's Nat and I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm just going to share with you my reads for the month of June. Not only that, but I also want to share with you a bit of information on a holiday that I don't believe too many people celebrate or let alone know about. I can tell you for a fact that it's not even a holiday that's worth putting on city or state issued calendars. I have a Washington Post calendar and it's nowhere near on there, like at all. The holiday that I'm talking about is Juneteenth, the day that all slaves were freed. Kind of. Before we jump into that though, let's get into the books that I'll be reading for the month of June. Starting off with one that I already finished reading, read it in 3 days actually. I mentioned it in my last video. If you haven't watched that, you might want to check that out. I'll definitely link that above for you to go and watch after this video. The B-side, Living and Dying While Black in America by D. Watkins. I ate this book up. I'm not gonna do a review on this just yet. I'm gonna wait for my June wrap-up video to really get into this book, but I already posted my Goodreads review on it, so if you want to check out that, my Goodreads information is always linked on my channel. So yeah, if you want to sneak peek about how I feel on this book, but if not, then I will definitely be talking about this in my June wrap-up video. But Watkins, he goes into heavy topics about issues that the Black community face and have always faced for a number of centuries, a number of decades. But now that we kind of have this freedom, it's like even still we have the same struggles with poverty, with having employment, getting education, and it's just like it's even like down to the food that we eat and the foods that are accessible for us. While talking about personal issues or issues that he's witnessed firsthand, or that he's seen that others have gone through, he talks about those instances and those stories while really giving some hardcore statistical information, and it's just like woo. So this is my first read, so yes, if you're interested in this, I definitely say get into it. Another book I plan on reading this month is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I have heard so much about this book for about a year now. I do know that another booktuber, or maybe several booktubers have read this book, and so I'm kind of like late to the game. But yes, I'm really trying to get more into crime and mystery, and I really do think that this may be a great read for me. It's about a girl named Monday who goes missing, and only her best friends realize that she is missing, and Monday is found, I think, a year later. So yeah, I really want to get into this for sure. I do know that Tiffany D. Jackson is also coming out with another book in September of this year. So if this is good, I already know that her new book is going to be just as great. So another book that I plan on reading this month is A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. I heard about this book, I think, sometime last year, and I definitely put this on my list of new reads, or like must reads that I wanted to get into this year, and so I pre-ordered it. It came the day that it dropped, and I'm excited to read this. It's about two girls, I believe, that possess the powers of, Siren is a mythical creature that's along the lines of a mermaid. So if you're into mythology and if you're into sea creatures and all of that, then you know what sirens are, and you know that I think the only difference between a siren and a mermaid is that one sings. But now that I'm thinking about it, Ariel sung, but she was a mermaid. I have questions. But yes, And as you can see from the cover, both characters are African American. They are black, and they are teens that live in, I believe, Portland, Oregon. And they're really undercover. They're like really low key with their secret powers. But there's an incident where one of the characters, her power is exposed. I believe her name is Tavia. Yes, Tavia and Effie. Thank you, brain. Tavia and Effie are both sirens. Well, at least I know that Tavia is a siren because her power is exposed, and so she has to battle this problem along with Effie, who's facing some problems or struggles at home. So that's just a synopsis from the description of the book that I got, the gist of it. I'm ready to get into this Black Girl Magic right here. I really am. I've seen a few reviews of the book. I believe that it has like a 4-star rating so far. So I'm excited. A book for this month that I actually want to get back into. I started it because it was a required read for school, but I never got the chance to finish it or, you know, like get back into it. But it's The Gilded Stories by Joelle Gomez. Like I said, it was a mandatory read for one of my, I think it was African American, it wasn't African American authors, it was African American something. It was a class that I had to study African American writers and all of that, and like theories and all of that for. And my professor chose this book to give us, you know, like a sense of to give us a book for fiction, like a fiction read. So, and The Gilded Stories is about this girl, because her literal name is Girl for like the first chapter or so, that escaped slavery and in Louisiana, and she stumbles upon a group of women, one named Gilda, working in a brothel. And they take her under their wings and everything, and at some point she actually becomes the next Gilda because she finds herself becoming an immortal being, aka a vampire. And so her new name is now Gilda. That's really all that I got from the first 2 chapters I read, if I even read the first 2. I know I read the first 1, but it's pretty great from the only chapter that I read, and I really do want to get back into this. I want to get back into this so much, so I am going to try to get this book read sometime this month, and if not this month, I'm going to carry it into July for sure. Might I add that it's also a LGBTQ plus read. I do believe that the main characters, the original Gilda, I believe, is a lesbian. I am not quite sure, but from the description of the book, it's definitely LGBTQ plus friendly. So this next read is more so of a suggestion for anyone, you know, who may want some recs for this month. I'm not really sure, but the book is Falling in Love with Hominins by Nalo Hopkinson. This was another book that I had to read for the same class with The Gilded Stories, and it's stories within one book, so each chapter is a separate story, and you know, each story is different, so no story, you know, correlates with the other. And there were a few stories that were required for me to read. I read those, but I did not look at any of the other stories, so I might look into a few of those other stories or chapters or whatever, but this is just really a recommendation for anyone that may be interested in some, you know, more I guess African American reads that are fiction. So last but not least, the book that is my current read, and I'm pretty sure it's still gonna be my current read even when I do post this video, that is Slay by Brittany Morse. It's basically about an African American teen who goes to an all-white high school academy, and I'm not really sure where she lives. I don't know if that was mentioned yet. If so, that definitely went over my head. But yeah, by day she is a Black girl student at an all-white institution, and by night she is a gamer. No one in her family, not her boyfriend, not her friends at school, knows that she is living a double life practically. And the game is titled Slay, and she is the creator of the game. But there's something that goes wrong with someone on the outside. So now her secret identity of this, you know, being this game maker and playing this game is kind of exposed in a sense in the real world, because it's become a real life issue. People of color, specifically, you know, black people, you know, those of the African descent or diaspora, play this game like all over the world. She didn't really expect for it to get this far, but it really has. So yeah. And she also, you know, battles with this idea of having to go to a HBCU, and then, you know, having, you know, wanting to, you know, follow her boyfriend to an HBCU and everything. And he's a hotep. If you know what that is, then you know. You know. So he's like that black character that you really don't read too much of, like, of in books. It's normally the opposite, but like he's like, you know, all for the black communities, like black power, but it's like that cisgendered black male type of character, you know. So still he kind of battles with some feminism, but yeah, that's the gist of this though. And I'm well into the book, and I can't wait to continue to read this. So those are my reads for this month of June. Like I said, if I don't complete all of these books, I will definitely be carrying these reads into July, but I'm going to do my best to really dive deep into these books. Now, on the topic of Juneteenth. Juneteenth is also known as Freedom Day or Cell Liberation Day, if you get the pun. And also Black 4th of July, you know. I didn't really know about Juneteenth until I want to say maybe 2016. I don't recall learning about this in middle school or high school, and if I did, it wasn't really embedded in my brain, or really wasn't like a key holiday that we really thoroughly discussed. But I know 4th of July, I know Memorial Day, I know Veterans Day, though all those other American holidays, but Juneteenth, you know. Like I said, I don't believe that it's celebrated nationally, like within the black community maybe, but like we're kind of still like getting into this holiday ourselves, because like I said, some of us weren't educated about it. But it's the day that commemorates June 19th, 1865, where on that day, after like almost 2.5 years of the Emancipation Proclamation actually being, you know, in effect, slaves were freed. So technically, after, you know, America was freed from Great Britain and all of that, after, you know, America, the nation, fought for their freedom, Lincoln, you know, signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which was supposed to free, I think, everyone. But, you know, those states that wanted to keep their slaves were like, nah, we're gonna fight for the right to still have them, because we want to continue to be selfish, and we don't see them as people, so like, why should we free them? So it took them, it really took America 2.5 years to actually break the whole slave thing, but even still, it hasn't been broken. I'm not one to really even celebrate July 4th. Like, do I watch the fireworks? Yes. Do I go to cookouts? Like, maybe once every 4 years. But I'm not really big on the whole, yay, America was freed on this day type thing, you know? Because it's just like, the color of my skin really depicts a lot of what my place is in America. So, and then finding out about the whole Juneteenth thing is just like, oh, okay. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, if July 4th can be a national holiday, so can Juneteenth. Especially with the whole, you know, Black Lives Matter movement that's going on, and people really trying to get the point of systemic racism being a thing across to other people, especially the majority in America. So it's just like, Okay, yeah, and really, I want to say that, you know, if you don't know about Juneteenth, or you're just discovering that Juneteenth is even a holiday, like, you really should educate yourself. I know I educated myself once I found out. Google is a friendly tool and it's free, so use it. Like I said, it's not on calendars. Well, it's not on my calendar, my city's issued calendar, but one day I just, you know, decided to check my phone calendar on my phone, and I saw that, you know, Apple has up there Juneteenth as a holiday, and I said, I don't even know if that was always there, but as of this year, it is. It's probably been there for a few years now, but at one point I'm sure that it wasn't, because it's not deemed as a national holiday. I do know that there are a few things people want to do on Juneteenth, like, you know, like support black businesses, you know, have their own cookouts and everything, to like really celebrate black people's 4th of July, because we celebrate America's 4th of July, but we don't really celebrate our own emancipation. So yeah, but like I said, are we really free? Are we? I guess everyone has their opinion on the whole free thing. So, and speaking of 4th of July this year, I do believe that the black community was talking about doing some type of like no July 4th celebration. So like no fireworks, no cookouts, no 4th of July Day sales, none of that. Like, so no participation in 4th of July whatsoever. So if you're into, like, if you want to know more about that, I guess just search that on social media, because that's where I found out. There's no really specific source that is talking about doing this. I've just seen some posts across people pages and across certain timelines and hashtags and all of that. So like, if you want to know more, I think you should just search. Yeah. And briefly, I do want to speak on what's really been the main focus in media to date, which has really been, you know, the Black Lives Matter movements and the issue of police brutality and the protests and everything. If, you know, that is still going on, the protesting, I really do wish that people remain safe and continue to use their voice. Like, I really do want people to continue to exercise their First Amendment right. And remember to vote. Voting season, you know, for some states, it is happening, because November will be here before we know it. So yes, exercise your rights, people, and do it as safely as possible. I do know that you as an individual can only do but so much, and that, you know, it's like a cause and effect type of thing. So sometimes I do know that those protests end up not all that safe in the end, because, you know, other people are supposedly exercising what they think is their right, but it's not. So once again, I am going to link some petitions and sites where you can donate down below, because, you know, this is an ongoing thing, and I want to make sure that everyone does some type of virtual protest, in-person protest, or something to support this cause. Because if we do nothing, nothing will change. So it's like we have to take some type of action in order for, you know, some type of positive outcome to happen. Well, that's it for this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you might have found a read that you may want to pick up this month, or, you know, sometime soon, or whenever. No pressure. But yeah, so like this video, make sure you subscribe as well, and comment on any of the books that I mentioned. If you've read them, you know, give me a little something. Don't spoil it for me, because I haven't read them, but give me a little something in response to, you know, your feelings towards the books, or if they were a fave, or if you didn't enjoy it. Be honest. I want your honest opinion. Well, I'll be seeing you guys in the next video for sure. Bye, guys. Okay. I promise this will be the last thing. I honestly almost forgot. I am a terrible booktuber. I really did almost forget that I promised this person that I would talk about this in my next video, and this is the next video, and I almost forgot. There will be a Black Books Matter-a-thon this month from June 14th through June 20th, right around Juneteenth, which is Friday the 19th this year. Yes. This new booktuber, Zoe Starshine, reached out to me via Twitter from her BlackBookathon account on Twitter. I'm going to put her Twitter account and her booktube channel information here. She wanted my support with this Black Books Matter-a-thon that she put together, and I am going to read to you the books that we'll be reading for the bookathon, and I'm also going to post it on my screen here. So we have the category Black Girl Magic, read a book written by a Black woman. Melanin Queen, read a fantasy with a Black protagonist. Share Black stories, read a nonfiction Black story. Guess Who's Black in the House, read a book with an LGBT plus main character. Shades of Black, read a comic by a Black author or illustrator. And last but not least, Black influencer, read a banned book or great American read. I didn't know if I was going to participate in this bookathon because I tend to sometimes hop on the bookathon wagon too late, or I don't have enough time to actually like read all the books for the bookathons. But I feel as though that my TBR pile for this month kind of goes in hand with some of the categories here, especially the Black Girl Magic, the Melanin Queen, and Share Black Stories, because I've already read a nonfiction story. I mean, all of my books are written by Black authors, mainly females. I only have one book that's written by a Black male author, so I'm already doing the read a book by a Black woman. The Guild of Stories is a book that has a LGBTQ plus character, so if I read that, that'll definitely be a part of the Black Bookathon. So yeah, if you're interested, like I said, the information is here. I will also put the information down below in the description. She said that she'll be having an announcement video on her channel soon, so I will definitely be putting that in the description box below, along with the Black Bookathon Twitter account, and I'm gonna see if I can get her personal book Twitter account as well. But yes, shout out to her, shout out to Zoe for putting this together. I'm pretty sure there are other bookathons going on this month, but I feel like the Black BookTube community kind of needs this, so please participate. Thank you very much.